Simon & Schuster AudioWorks presents Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Oh, do we want to start with the heat? I feel like as
yeah
people living in England, it's mandatory that we have to say that it's bloody hot.
Yeah.
It's right bloody hot, mate.
It's like 10 degrees outside. It's too hot. Yeah.
I always feel vindicated. I feel very, very vindicated when I see posts from Americans who say, I lived in X state my entire life, and then I came to the UK, and it is actually hotter here than it is there. Because of the humidity. It's an island, and we spend hundreds and hundreds of years destroying all of our forests. So
yeah. And building houses
it's
prepared
all just
for warmth rather than keeping out heat. Because you go to a country that like had heat all for its entire existence, and you're like, oh, these
and the
houses are
cool because they're built to let the wind blow through.
Yeah.
Or
exactly.
they have 8 million air conditioning vents. If you're in America,
Also if you're in America, you just have air conditioning. That's also pretty bad for the environment. But it's
what can you do?
At least it's you don't sweat as much, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it is bad. Like the moisture, it can really get to you in here in the UK. Unfortunately,
It can be quite heavy.
it's heavy. Yeah,
I feel
like,
bad.
You
Depressive.
The cool thing about dry heat is that you don't sweat. Like you sweat, but it just comes off of your body. But in an environment like this, you're just wet. Like your body is wet. Your fucking ass is wet from sitting down. Like it's horrid. But people have to live through it. Unfortunately, you have to just live through it.
The only one, excuse me, the only state where it seems like I would fully accept that it's probably hotter there than here is that that Phoenix, Arizona or whatever. Right?
Yeah. But that's also dry heat, but that's
hot.
even hotter. I think like all the like Georgia, Louisiana also is quite heavy, I would imagine, in terms of, because there's moisture there, right? It's like swamps,
Sure.
But like Phoenix is another level because it's dry heat, but it's just way hotter on top of that, on average. Yeah. And it will get burned from the face of the earth at some point. Like, I'm sorry, guys. Like, Phoenix is going
will
to
eventually. So,
and then you have a beautiful story to tell because it's like a beautiful story of a phoenix. In the face of complete destruction, the sun destroys the city. People refuse to move from there.
They reborn.
They rebuild from the ashes.
Even hotter city.
Yeah, I like the idea where it's like.
I like the idea too. I think it's beautiful.
Yeah. Instead of getting like insurance for like tornadoes or something, you get like the solar flare insurance where it's like it beams such heat where it evaporates your house from the surface of the earth,
Yeah.
That would be interesting,
It would be interesting. I agree. That being said, the heat does mean that we'll probably be fucked up this episode in some way or another.
Yeah.
Whether it's because we aren't thinking very well, processing stuff very well, or just generally, like this,
Yeah. The energy is low.
It's hard to sleep, and then you end up tired, and then the next day it's like, fuck, man.
Yeah.
I can't do shit, 'cause now I'm yawning into the microphone.
Thankfully, it's only going to be for like a week or two, maybe. Or maybe
and then
not.
I'm playing all of these sexy games on my PC that make my PC heat up. That doesn't help.
Too many polygons.
And then I'm getting hot and bothered. Keyword hot. Am I right, everybody?
Yeah. Polygons in all the right places, if you know what I mean. Yeah. So what sort of games have you been playing that are getting you hot and bothered?
Final Fantasy 14. Because it makes my PC heat up.
Yes.
And sometimes I see that Y'shtola, and I'm like, oh my goodness.
Oh my god. The subscription is just worth for this, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
For this
Exactly.
image.
This is Dead Ensigns. This is the earliest I think I've ever said the intro, but we've started talking about the stuff that we're doing, so it feels natural to say it now.
Number one hottest podcast in
Number one.
in time. Number one.
Heatest podcast.
Heatiest. Okay.
I'm Ben. This is Max.
That's me.
You're listening to Dead Ensigns. This week I've been playing... I tried a game that I'd been meaning to play for a little while. I think I mentioned it a little while ago, but never actually got around to playing it when I had said I was going to play it. Is atlyss. ATLYSS. Now, the first thing, if you go to this, if you Google this or go to it on Steam, you're going to see the furry characters with big breasts and butts. And let me tell you, that is consistent throughout the entire game. You can really go hard on your character when it comes to the sliders, you know?
Yeah.
They have quite skimpy clothing, and they're very small proportions. It's an interesting game. It's a bit of a horny game, one could say.
Yeah, well.
From what I understand, the guy has tried to make it a little less horny overall, but it's still, you know, the spirit...
Yeah.
is still strong within it for
But what
that
genre
stuff.
is it? What do you do in it?
It's like a fake MMO.
It's a fake MMO.
It's one of those like fake MMOs where it's structured very much like kind of a grindy little MMO where you have a character and you're just leveling up their class, and then you're like learning skills and making your skills stronger and getting stats, and then you have gear, and then you level up a bit and you get new gear that makes you stronger, and then you level up a bit, and you very core concept MMO, right?
Yeah.
There's even a couple like non-combat things you can do, like you can mine and you can fish, and those also have stat tracks, you know.
Does it support one-handed play though?
Heyo. I don't think so. Not really.
No, not really. Oh fuck. That's a challenge then, I guess.
Yeah. But it's kind of actiony. It's more of it's less like an MMO in terms of combat where you just kind of auto attack. There's more of a active combat to it. And it's a fake MMO, but you can play it online with friends, or you can join public lobbies. But the lobbies are small. It's like 16 players, and you can only have like 4 to a party in a dungeon. So it's like it's more like less like an MMO, but it's like it has the feel of an MMO, especially with the way its quests are done and structured and stuff.
Does it have like NPCs that are like pretending to be players, where they just kind of wander around or to like fill out space, or no?
No. There's a lot of NPCs like quest givers and like store like NPC shop characters and stuff, but there's not like fake you, basically. There's no fake players, at least as much as I played, but I don't think there are any fake players in the game.
Yeah,
but you can play it all solo. It's not a mandatory online game.
Yeah,
but it's quite fun. The base combat of it is very simple. You just kind of do your skills and attack and stuff, do like little combos with left click, and the right click is like a shield button. So you can either hold it to block damage, there's like a stamina meter attached to it, or there's a parry system. So if you block at the right time, right before you get hit by an attack, you can parry, stun the enemy, do some hits, do some combos on it, and then get back around to it. Or you can dodge. There's a big dodge button that sends you like fucking flying whenever you use it. But it's fun. It feels good to play. You can make very unique looking characters, and I don't say that in like a tongue-in-cheek, like, oh, that's so unique. Yeah. I just mean like you can really like make a character that looks like your own, I guess. Feel unique in comparison to all the other things you could make.
Is it
I liked it.
finished? Is it a finished game?
It's early access. It's being made by one person.
Yeah, well,
and it's quite impressive for one person. There's some bugs. I was playing with some friends, and we got to the end of a dungeon and had to go into the boss room. But only 2 of us went through of the 3. The other person, it just wouldn't teleport into the boss room for some reason. Couldn't find out why. And I think the boss is scaled based on how many players are in your party.
okay.
So it seemed like the boss had a lot more HP and damage than it should because it was only 2 of us fighting and it took quite a long time to deal with. But it was fun either way. It's if grinding in games feels good sometimes, you know, getting new weapons and armor and stuff.
Sometimes you don't need the pesky other players on your MMO server. You can just have yourself, you know, and your friends, your closest friends, you know.
You can host a little private lobby, get your friends in, fight some bosses, do some quests. So it's good fun. It's good fun. I like it, and it's cheap. It's cheap. It's like fucking. It's like, how much is it? It's like £8.50.
Is there an actual story, or is it just kind of very?
Yeah, no, there's like story and stuff to it. It seems I haven't done like a deep dive into the lore or anything, but there's a narrative. You know, you're like a soul that this goat lady has pulled from like the ocean or something, and it needs you to fight evil and stuff.
Okay, yeah. Does the goat lady have huge features?
Yes.
So okay.
Physically, like 3 times your size, but also has a big butt and a big chest.
Huge features, yes. Okay, that's interesting. I think I've seen it like at some point. I've watched some videos. It's on Steam, right? It isn't just on like itch or something like
Steam.
that. Okay.
You might be able to buy it on itch as well, but I'm imagining it's on Steam because it makes use of the Steam like.
Oh yeah, the peer-to-peer stuff. Yeah. But yeah, that sounds interesting.
There's like dungeon bosses, there's overworld bosses, anything that you kind of have the basic core elements of like an MMO exist within it.
And in terms of classes, are they just like very kind of generic ranger fighter and stuff? There isn't like
at the moment there's 3 and there's subclasses to be added, but there are only a couple of the subclasses in. So currently, you start as like a nobody, and then you get to like level 10 and you get to choose a class. And there's like, there's fighter, bandit, and mage. And then after that, the mage has 2 subclasses already, and the fighter has a subclass, but the bandit does not have a subclass yet.
Yeah. And does it seem like all the classes that are... Is the gameplay kind of similar across them, or is there like a mechanic
I don't know.
that's
I've only played the bandit. I just wanted to play a rogue.
You might have
but
just
it seems
seen
like
it.
it seems like the other people I was playing with have their own kind of like play style to it with what they're doing, like whether that's tanking or like ranged magic stuff or healing, you know.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah. It's good.
I'd
recommend it.
You're in a big kick for MMOs right now.
It's a very low poly, so it runs very well and quickly and easily and smoothly on like anything. It feels like it's very low poly, very stylized, you know, very simple. But what about you? You finished the game, right?
Yeah, I've been playing Gothic. I've been reliving my childhood by frivolously through experiencing something that I've played a very long time ago. It's interesting to have replayed it and kind of re-examine it with my adult brain. But was it 2001? I think first Gothic came out, and it now playing it now, it does feel like a little bit like lacking, in a way, because it's a very simple RPG in a way, comparably to what we have available now, but it was quite revolutionary at the time, I guess, if you want to go with that word.
Sure.
But it's still, I did enjoy I was surprised how much I enjoyed and kind of immersed myself, even with like the kind of the voice acting very much didn't help with immersion. The English dub is like, it is a little bit of a meme how bad it is, but like I played it and I was like, man, it is really bad. Like I was I was catching myself at some of it where I was like, oh yeah, this is like legitimately bad. It isn't like overblown, for kind of emphasis, going back to the prison colony, all male prison colony of Corinnes is Yeah, it's the very simplistic kind of, even the RPG elements are very simplistic. You know, you got like strength and dexterity and you just kind of go up. Like there isn't like it does seem like you just kind of level up equally in both stats. You know, there isn't I guess at the there is like, I feel like a lot, specifically in Gothic, it does seem like the more interesting part is the beginning of the game, you know, because you do feel like you have to be a lot more careful. You need to plan a lot more, you know, you are legitimately in danger a lot of the times, you know, like if someone attacks you, you are, a lot of the times you are outgunned, basically. Like you are very weak at the start of the game. And you feel really, and I feel like that's the most immersive the game gets, is when you're at that point of your lowest point, you know, in the game where you have to kind of be smart about dealing with people and the jobs you take on and where you even go, right? Because like even like the simplest enemies can quite easily kill you, especially with I didn't do any patching to patch out controls or improve the controls, so I was using the really cool old controls that were very clunky and even during combat I would, you know, there isn't a thing where it's like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna outskill this enemy, you know, I'm just gonna push through this section and kind of skip a bit by outskilling like an enemy I shouldn't really be able to kill, you know, because your enemy, your character is just very, especially at the beginning, very weak and clunky. Like they can't move much. They are kind of candid animations in this game where it's like you're just stuck in an animation while you're executing, and you can still, there are no iframes or anything like that, so you just get hit, you know, if you get hit, you know. It's interesting to have gone back and realize that I don't have much to say at this point. Honestly,
all right, well, don't worry about it.
Because it's like,
I guess for me, it's like I don't know. I get it, where it's like I kind of felt the same way about some RPGs as a kid, and then you play them as an adult, and it's like you realize that your childhood mind kind of like filled in a lot of blanks.
Yeah, definitely.
The franchise, the medium wasn't as robust, and you as a child can be like making your own funnel in a lot of the cases. But yeah, as an adult, you start to go, oh, I don't really have any reason to be doing this, or I don't really want to do this. I can't be bothered.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's a weird feeling, you know, in a way, because it was a big, you know, such a big game back in the day, and you're like, it's fine, you know, I played it, and I feel like I'm glad that I have played it, you know, now, to re-experience it. But in the end, it wasn't a revolutionary experience of like, yeah, oh shit, you know, wow, really needed to do this, you know, like,
well, luckily there's a remake coming.
Yes, there's a remake, and I'm very curious about how they're gonna kind of upscale the experience of the game to kind of not make it just like make it feel old, you know, like it's add more detail, maybe more mechanics, like
well, I guess we'll find out, man. It's only like a week away.
It's a week away. Whether the kind of what's it called, like scheduling system for like the NPCs, where they have like little timetables that they go and do and stuff, would they expand on that, you know, make it more maybe reactive in some way, you know. Like the thing I enjoyed, like talking about the setting, I really do enjoy the kind of setting of the prison colony, because I feel like it really well drives the kind of relations that characters have with each other, you know. Sure. People don't want to kill each other in this world, basically, because every person that gets killed, you know, they will, and especially with like the three camps that are the three factions, basically, like if you scare someone away from yourself, they will go somewhere else and they will become their labor, they'll become their power, you know. So you get that feeling of like, whenever you deal with any of these places, that you feel like at the same time they try to scare you. It's like, basically it's prison, right? It's like you want to become the big dog, but at the same time you want to have people around you, you know, so they reinforce your position, right? So I like the fact that it's like you like, especially in like the camps, for example, if you get beat up, they don't kill you, they steal from you, and then they just leave you to wake up after a couple of minutes, you know. It's like there is that implication, like I said, there's people aren't out there like killing each other as much. They're there to, you know, reestablish their dominance, you know, over you, you know. It's a interesting set. The setting itself is quite interesting, but you know, it's an old game. It feels old, you know. You play it and it does. Now we have so much more access to things that just do the thing this game does a lot better, you know. Yeah. And I'm thinking, I'm debating with myself, do I want to play the second one? You know, like, do I want to play Gothic 2 and see the improvement from Gothic 1 and Gothic 2? And is there much of an improvement? You know, and I'll probably, honestly, I would probably play it with the Polish dub at that time. Like, if I played the second one, I think I wouldn't... I do want to maybe see if that like nostalgia is gonna kind of experience. But that I guess that's like an interest. There's a lot of questions like, will I play the remake with the dub? You know, will I play it in English? Because I would imagine they would put a lot more effort into the English voice acting this time around. You know, that they did back in the day.
Maybe not.
And you know. That's the thing. It's in Gothic 1, like the voice actors, some of them are dead in the Polish dub, so there will be different for Polish. There will be different voice actors.
They gotta be recast.
So, they need to be recast. So then I wonder, just in general, it will be interesting to see the kind of reaction to this game when it finally comes out and everyday kind of people get to experience it, and how much
the new generation of Gothic players.
I guess not even that. It will be the old generation, because the people will be the ones that probably are going to be complaining the most about it, right? It will be. They already have
you know, you get to hear about the new generation of Gothic fans. People who didn't play the original Go.
Yeah. That would be interesting
like,
too.
Wow, this game is awesome. Or what the hell? This game feels like it's from 2001.
Exactly. Yeah.
In Germany or something.
In Germany, yeah. But it's like
2001 Germany PC RPG. What the hell?
Yeah. Weird. And it's like, will they be able to pull it off? Is there gonna be there gonna be a difference between people that are gonna play it that never played the original Gothics, and they're gonna go? Yeah. That would be interesting if like people that never played the originals going to play this game and then going to go like, this was actually really fun, and the people that the old heads are going to be like, no, it sucks, you know. That
you don't understand. They moved Garrick from his hill.
Yeah,
he used to be up on his hill, and you would go and talk to him, and he'd sell you rocks and sticks. Yeah, and then they moved him to the bottom of the hill.
I loved how, you know, in the old game, you run all over the place and you were really slow, and everything took a long time to get to places. God, man, I love that aspect.
You'll know it's made it if people start talking about media literacy.
I don't know.
People love arguing about media literacy these days.
But the thing is that, like, the original, like I said, it's not really the deepest story, neither.
This
like,
doesn't
there
matter.
isn't
that
many
doesn't matter.
commentary.
That doesn't matter.
On
anything, does not matter at
I
all.
feel like
does not matter at all. People just love saying media literacy.
Oh, it's
people love yes, 100%. Like it has a lot of meaning behind it initially, but people, general public, people who just watch like a movie every couple months got hold of it, and now they're like, everybody on Twitter is such terrible media literacy.
Yeah.
You know,
playing Gothic.
People love arguing about who's better at media literacy, and
nobody is.
Once it's in Gothic, it's in Gothic.
It would be interesting if they're gonna do. Yes, like I said, the story is quite shallow in terms of like there isn't any real themes in there, right? Like
no themes and such.
There is like, you know, like the idea of the colony is like
it's set in a prison colony. There's no way
no matter what your crime is, you get put into the prison colony, like that you literally can't get out of. Like it's like the barrier literally is one
It's
way.
just like Andor.
Oh, you're right. They ripped off Gothic into Andor? What the fuck?
Well,
Oh,
Star Wars came first, so really it's the other way around.
I guess.
Yep.
Did Andor was Andor?
No, well, Star Wars came first, is what I'm saying.
Okay, so that's what it. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, and it's very the barrier is very blue, like in the prequels where they have the bombs or whatever. They also very look very much like the barrier from Gothic. You're
I
right.
don't know what you're talking about.
Yes,
I don't remember anything from the prequels.
you don't remember anything.
I mean,
from
I
the
remember
prequels?
bits and pieces, but nothing coherent, you know?
Yeah, well, it's
And
unfortunate.
that really only stays in my mind because of cultural osmosis of people quoting it and saying that actually it was overhated and that actually when it came out nobody hated it and people only started hating it because YouTubers hated it, you know?
It goes, hello there. Remember when you
Hello
land?
there.
It goes,
I do
hello
remember,
there.
yeah.
Hello there.
Now this is pod racing. I'll try
Yeah.
spinning. That's a neat trick.
Yeah.
Jaja in general, you know?
Sand is coarse, like sand
Yeah.
or whatever. I hate sand because it's coarse.
Coarse and rough and gets everywhere or whatever.
It gets everywhere, yeah.
I watched a better
uh,
movie this week.
that
we
scene
can
where Padme is young Annie is like smirks at Padme and she's like 20 years older than him.
She's
And they're
not
like,
20
I
years
know,
old.
I know,
though.
I
That's
know.
not fair.
But in that scene, that
she is noticeably a
the-
teenager,
the
and he is
contrast
noticeably a
i-
little boy.
a little boy, yes, it's very jarring.
She is a young teen, and he is a child. Yeah.
Yeah, and he puts a little smirk on
I mean,
his
a
face,
young
he's like,
teen is also a child, just to be clear. But you know, what
I
mean.
know.
Prepubescent child. There you go.
Yeah.
I watched a movie this weekend that was quite horrible. Not
Yeah?
in like it was a bad movie kind of way, but it was actually quite hard to watch in a lot of instances.
Yeah.
The hot new horror movie
Mm-hmm.
of the year. Everybody's talking about it, Max.
Yeah.
You could say
Everybody?
everybody is obsessed with Obsession.
Oh, shit.
Curry Barker.
Like the Obsession, the movie we watched before.
No, that was
Called
Possession.
Possession. Oh no, fuck.
They're remaking it
They're remaking Possession?
with the guy that did the first two, who did the Smile movies.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
got Margaret Qualley.
That would be interesting,
Yeah.
I guess.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
Anyway.
I don't know what to say about that, honestly, but whatever. You know, why
Probably
not?
gonna be bad.
Have a crack at
I
anything in
like
life. Make
that
it
second Smile movie. I thought it had a really good intro. At the very
Yeah.
least, the intro was awesome.
Yeah.
I don't know if that guy should be the one who's making Possession, but hey, whatever. Anyway, I saw a movie called Obsession. It was great. It was a really good movie. I think more than anything, this is the first horror movie I've seen for a while that has like actually been scary
Okay, that's interesting.
in like a very refreshing way, you know.
Was the cinema going like, whoa? You know,
Yes.
when they were like, yeah, ooh, nice.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
a good one.
It's do you know anything about Obsession, Max?
No, the only thing I saw the trailer where he has a wish, right? I think it's a wish.
He
that
makes
casts,
he's a very scared man. He has a crush on this lady who he works with and went to school with.
Yeah.
He's been in love with her for years, and he's been unable to tell her, you know.
Yeah.
So he buys a little wishing stick, a one wish willow on a lark.
Nice.
He was going to give it to her as a gift, but he just can't work up the courage. He snaps it and he wishes, flippantly he wishes, I wish she loved me more than anything else in the world.
Ooh.
And then, you know, stuff happens.
Yeah.
It's I think what's good is that what's really good about it. This is probably one of the better YouTuber horror movies I've ever seen, because the director, more famously like a YouTuber up until this point, Curry Barker. I hadn't heard of him, but I think he's as a internet YouTube comedian person or something. I think this is probably the best of these like YouTuber horror movies I've seen for sure. And
They're getting out
even
there,
better
man.
than some non-YouTube horror movies. You know what really stuck with me after I finished it was like, it's almost like this is the level of exploration, uncomfortable exploration of your premise that I would have wanted from like Together, you know?
Yeah,
A similar like love-based or romance-based, even though this movie is not particularly romantic, it's really horrible, but its premise is around romance, you know?
Yeah.
Unrequited love and stuff, that I would have wanted from Together. And I think it's genuinely very it does make you squirm, and it's a strong story, but I think what really sells it is Indy Navarrete, the lady that plays Nikki in the movie, the woman that is wished upon, you know?
Yes.
Her performance is incredible. Really fantastic horror performance. Genuinely, like, probably one for the ages, you know?
All right, yeah.
Everybody else is great in the movie as well. There's a lot of great dark humor in there as well. A lot of great scenes, a lot of great, like, some small running gags and stuff throughout the film that help break up the tension, because without it, like, the parts that are there that are horrible are, like, really hard to watch at times. Like, it's really a really tough movie.
Yeah.
Tough horror movie.
It's-
But it does get you scared. I felt my hair raising. Genuinely. I was like, holy shit, this scene is raising my hair. I can feel myself being like so on edge. Not necessarily just being like, ooh, something scary is about to happen, but being in the moment of like, this is really scary conceptually, but also the way the scene is being executed is horrible, you know? Is really making
Is it a very body horror-y? Is it rather more intensity, intensity?
There's a good amount of violence in it, and a good amount of gore.
Yeah.
But I would say it's mostly in the intensity of its performances, and the implications of what is going on are really hard to stomach.
Like tension, build up of tension. Okay,
Yeah,
that
but
was
also just like the concept of the the premise of it, this like very simple innocent wish is explored in like a very horrific way.
Yeah, I was thinking. I heard a lot of good things about this movie. I was surprised because like
it came out. I don't know. I think it was one of those things where it was like, I think it premiered at the Toronto Film Festival last year, and people were raving about it. But it kind of, I didn't know anything about it, and then it just came out this month, and people were like, you got to see this movie. You got to see this movie. This movie's great. And I'm glad I did. I was just sort of like, I didn't really know anything about it beyond the premise. I was like, I'll just go check that out with a family member. And I was quite stunned. And there's a bit of a slow burn to it too. Like, it doesn't really pick up for quite a while, but when it starts ramping up, it really goes. It really goes. But more than anything, I was just happy with how much it explored its premise, you know, way more than like Together or something.
I did hear really good things
stuff,
about it. Some
good
might
stuff.
have might watch it at some point if it's.
You should.
know.
You should. It's good.
I don't know. It's when it's cooler, you know, when it's less hot outside. Maybe I'll watch this movie because that's the only thing that's stopping me right now is the fact that it's just so hot, you know.
Yeah,
I can't watch this movie.
it's hot as fuck. You know what else looked hot as fuck?
Yeah.
The city of Nihama in Japan,
Okay. Yeah.
or otherwise known as Newport City, according to Wikipedia. The city of Ghost in the Shell.
Yes, we did say
As
we're
we
going to.
promised last
yes, we
week.
promised. We discussed actually during the podcast, which is unorthodox, of what we're going to do next. It seems like something we would do outside of recording of a podcast.
Well,
but,
we
you
had
know.
like 10 minutes to kill, I feel like, at the end of the last episode, if I remember correctly. And it was sort of like, maybe we should plan what we're doing. Anyway, not only did we watch the film that Max had never seen, the original 1995 animated version, directed by Mamoru Oshii of Pat Labor fame, Angel's Egg and such. This is definitely probably his most famous film, easy to say. as a director, but we also went even further back to the manga, first volume of the manga that started it all, and went forward to the 2017 Scarlett Johansson train wreck.
Into the future.
Maybe not
This
a
is
train. Maybe
our
train
future.
wreck is too much. You know this? I'm looking on Wikipedia. This movie was produced by Avi Arad and Ari Arad.
Yeah.
Who's
And
who's the other guy?
I don't know.
Avi Arad produced Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. That's his highest rated film. Ari Arad's highest rated film is Ghost in the Shell 2017.
Ari Arad is known for Borderlands.
They're both known
2020.
for Borderlands, it looks like.
Yeah, I think they might just be family, man.
I guess so. It's just weird that one of them has a Wikipedia page. It confused me.
Yeah.
And their names are so similar. I was like, what the hell's going on? Anyway, should we start with the manga?
It's the case where I think the father is preparing the youngest son's body so he can take it over. You know,
He's going to do a soul transfer.
like a necromancer. He's going to put his ghost in that shell of his son. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, maybe. I don't know. I don't know what that family gets up to.
Allegedly.
And you know what? It's none of my business.
Allegedly.
Ghost in the Shell, the comic.
Yeah, the manga.
I had never read this before, but I quite enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's visually nice.
It's
like
interesting.
The style.
It's interesting to come to because I have seen the movie, the 1995 film, animated film, many times before.
Yeah.
So I'm quite familiar with it, but I had never seen I'd never read the manga, and it's interesting how much more gag focused it is, and how much more episodic it is. You know.
Yeah.
Each chapter is kind of like a self-contained mission, and
Yes.
it's filled with like cartoonish characters. There's a whole like squad of Section 9 people. There's the major herself is like quite gruff and full of personality and cracking jokes and punching people and stuff.
Yeah.
Bato is very, very silly in comparison to how he is in the films. He's still like kind of the straight man in the comic, but even then he's cracking a lot of like jokes and stuff anyway.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, you have the Fuchikomas, the little
suits.
mechs that
Yeah,
are
the
like,
mechs.
the little spider mechs. Because ultimately, this is much more of like a mech manga.
Yes, I was surprised by how
As a
much
cyberpunk
of
one.
the web missions that were just like, oh yeah, we're just doing this
The
in the mech.
Fuchikomas, they're getting the
yeah.
Fuchikomas and stuff. With that, I like the world building with that AI as well. I thought it was a cool way to do like a single mind, hive mind, single mind thing. But also they're all separate identities that can converse with each other and experience different things.
And they just reset them every day or something.
Yeah, they like at night they culminate all of their different AI back into like the one host, and then split off again in the morning for the day.
Yeah.
You know, they're like very cartoonish. They're often drawn like with little emotive mouths and stuff, and simplified to the point where it's like they're just little gag
guys.
mascot characters almost. It was very funny. What did you think, Max?
I was taught I was very surprised having to have, because I haven't seen the anime movie, but from what I've seen, like even seeing like frames from just general cultural osmosis, like it feels like so much more serious. And then I read this, and I think like even looking at the first example of just like you have the initial kind of raid that happens on these like politicians talking about like slave nations and stuff like that, and the cops, like the design of their armor is like bulbous. It's like very round, you know. They're very more kind of like cartoony in their design, you know. And then you look at the anime, and it's like they're faceless, like these corporate drones basically, or whatever, like government drones, you know.
Yeah.
And it just goes throughout the entire, you know, manga, where it's like all of the designs are a lot more round and less, you know. Of course there's a lot of technology, right, because it's a cyberpunk world, but I feel like there's less edge to that technology in a way, you know. I don't know. It's interesting how each one of it is interesting to have watched all of this, or like read through all of this, because it feels like every one of these pieces of media have focused on a different aspect of this story, you know, like of the idea of the human mind outside of a
The ghost
human
and
body,
the shell.
ghost in a shell, you know, and what's like the fucked up part about it, you know, I don't know, it's like, what's the actual scary thing about it, you know, in a way, you know, because like, but yeah, let's, I guess I'm not going to talk about the overall thing, but let's probably talk more about the manga. Very violent. I like how
Quite
you,
violent.
like, there is that contrast of like, you get like more cartoonish designs in certain aspects, but there are like panels where like even at the beginning the guy just like gets turned into red mist by shredding of bullets, you know, and it's like limbs getting ripped off and like people getting killed graphically, you know, like quite graphically. Yeah, it's the manga. I guess it's you know, the manga has a lot more time than the other pieces of media, like the, you know, like the anime.
It's interesting because I mean we'll get to it when we talk about the anime, but the anime is more an amalgamation of multiple stories in this.
Yes, yeah,
Kind of focusing on one particular plot in particular, but one particular plot in particular. What am I saying? They're focusing on one plot in particular, but also grabbing so much from a lot of the other chapters to build around it and
yeah,
like kind of focus them all together into one narrative.
yeah.
So it's interesting to read this and see, for me, bits of pieces of stuff that I recognized but not contextually relevant to the main plot that comes up at like chapter 6 or something.
Because it's like it is interesting, like the like even like you said, it's like in anime, like the beginning conversation that the like government guys are having in the secret meeting. In the anime, they're talking about the like Project 2501 or whatever. And in the manga, they're talking about like some other thing, like exploiting nations for like slave labor or something like that.
They're trying to. They're trying to use diplomatic immunity to get out of like the crimes they're doing and shit.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like so like you said, it's like it. He made a lot of the smaller stories kind of add up to this one big story of the puppeteer in the anime movie, right? It's I guess because it's the most interesting part in a way. That's like the most out there, you know, the idea of this AI creature, whatever you want to call it, you know.
But you know what? More so than anything, I think even than the anime itself, the manga really does feel like the origin point of cyberpunk, right? Like all the concepts for cyberpunk really feel like it come from the manga more than anything else, you know.
Yeah, definitely. And it's I'm not really sure, because like that's the thing, we just kind of read Ghost in the Shell. It would be curious to kind of look around that time and see what else was coming out and how much, because you could be right, like we could be right, like saying that it's like this is a lot of imagery gets just like, you know, stolen from this. A lot of a lot of stuff has come out in the future that's inspired by this piece of media, especially the anime movie. You know, like the anime movie, just there's just so much, like even like the Matrix, you know, like it's kind of like the Matrix, you know, where it's like it perpetuates any sort of media that tries to tackle that idea of like humans combined with technology and cybernetics and stuff like that, you know, like it just immediately gets kind of not corrupted, but like you can see the strands, you know, leading from Ghost in the Shell towards it. But yeah, it's what else? Like, I don't know. I mean, like the
I did appreciate the humor. I liked the humor. It was fun. It was a fun comic to read.
Yeah.
I enjoyed my time.
The thing is that like I don't think it captured me in the end, in a way. Like I did kind of you know, the finale happens of like there's that combination of Major with this this entity, and I wasn't like, I kind of was like not really interested after what was going to happen next, you know, with this. It felt very disconnected from what was happening up to this point, in a way. And I was like, yeah, I guess it will have they'll have some other adventures in the next volumes, but I wasn't interested in that at that point. And also another thing that I really kind of it's not something I'm into, of just a lot of political stuff, not like politics as in political themes, but there are these factions and all these different factions, and they all plan and try to fuck each other over. I'm really not into that. I just don't.
There's quite a bit of that in the comic,
There's just a lot of that stuff, and I'm just. It's just me, unfortunately,
It's fair. I kind of get it.
Yeah.
But I guess we'll move on to the Mamoru Oshii classic. This is, I mean, I don't know. I feel like I'm at the point where I can't really talk about this movie without just regurgitating stuff that many people have already said. But since it's your first time seeing the animated one, what did you think?
No, it was beautiful. That's what I can say. It was beautifully animated and just stylistically insane, with the portrayal of all the technology. It's just so detailed. Especially the anime of back in the day, they loved, technology and the detail of machinery moving around, and combine that with the kind of fusion of human and machine,
Well, it's interesting because like you say, Mamoru Oshii's a lot of technical work, so just a lot of technical design and stuff to it. So it's interesting coming from that movie where it has quite a big mech focus. Mamoru Oshii pretty well known for Patlabor and Patlabor 2, and just the Patlabor series in general. At Headgear, with that group. Gutta coming into Ghost of the Shell obviously does not have a lot of mech stuff and more just general synthetic android kind of design and stuff.
Shooting.
It works really well.
Combat.
I think it makes sense coming from the way Patlabor evolved. Obviously, Patlabor 2, very heavy mech franchise, but the second film is pretty bereft of mobile suits, labors as they call them in that, So I think there was, and then after that movie, then coming into this adaptation of Ghost in the Shell, I think it makes a lot of sense why this one sort of abandoned that. But I mean, in general, it's a lot more serious of a film. It's a lot more focused on its philosophical points of view,
and it's almost existential about the idea of what is happening to the human mind. There is there's the monologue that they have on the boat where Major literally says do you even know what's inside of your the metal case, where your brain is, you don't, have you seen it, are you sure there's literal brain cells in there, and I feel there's in the manga that topic isn't that important, basically.
It's definitely brought up in a couple chapters, but I think generally it's not. Yeah, it's not really the focus in the
focus.
But this the big focus of the movie is the biological mind versus the synthetic mind, right?
Yeah,
and what those two things mean, what they have in common.
Yeah,
does very similar,
Does it even matter?
Exactly.
Does the if you just digitize a mind, it's just data. It's a different it's data, but in a different format, So if you unify that format, what's the difference, between a human brain and a hard drive,
It's all executed very well. I think in that, what a lot of people who are fans of the comics then have problem with it, because there has been a bit of obviously it's still a masterpiece, and I think people recognize it as a masterpiece, but as more people have read the comic now, I think some people do lament that this is the face of this franchise as opposed to the version of the Major that exists in the source material, because obviously this Major is incredibly different from the version that exists in the comic, who is
I feel
boisterous, very brash and headstrong Major of the captain of this squad. In this, it's she's incredibly tactical and cold. And
cold. It feels like they took
robotic,
Major from after she does the initial dive, and she kind of is that person from the beginning, rather than becoming colder after having had the first contact with the entity after the she kind of crudely dives into the body that was manufactured randomly in that that facility, and like you said, it's like she's a lot colder, like a lot more existential about what she is, there is like literally, like you said, the manga itself is like very funny, it's trying to be a lot more fun about it. It's like when you have that final kind of dialogue with the entity, and it's like selling her on the idea of like combining with it, she goes, go on, and he goes, oh, I thought I was gonna have to do this for a lot longer, than we did, and it's like in the anime, it's like this beautiful kind of like moment of existential dread of fusing with this angel, basically, in a way, right? Because it's kind of like an implication
immaculate
of
life.
Yes,
life,
exactly, and it's a different take, definitely.
But you strip out a lot of that, not even in just the major, but the group of Section 9 is slimmed down a lot.
Yes.
Bato is more of an amalgamation of all of them, I suppose. And is also a lot more of a serious kind of straight man than he is in the comic. And on top of that, you get rid of all the Fujikomas, which I do kind of lament, because I think that was the really charming point of the comic, but they wouldn't really fit into this narrative. And it's the same with all the other characters. Like I think that's something that we'll get to in the live action one, but it feels like the live action one made a bit more of a point to be like, oh, look, we're taking stuff from the manga. We're like, look, it's not the same as just adapting the animated one, right? Everybody.
Yeah.
But that then proves why this animated one took those out, because they kind of feel superfluous to the actual narrative, right? They're just kind of there to be there. And I think in this story, where you're focusing so much on the Major and her understanding of the mind, you don't really necessarily need all the funny Fujikomas, and you don't need as many of these people around in this crew, right? You can just focus on Bato as more of like an anchor to a biological form,
Yeah, it's you do have like there's some instances like you have the what is he called? I forget what is the cop, like the ex-cop they have with him. Togusa. There is that. I did find it a little bit interesting. Like in the manga, they have that kind of first when they're going for a job, basically, and she talks to him about, do you still use that revolver? That you use, and he's like, yeah, I like it. That's why I use it. And she's like, stop doing that, because my ass is on the line. You need to be able to put like a volume of fire. You're gonna get us killed. And he does, and he changes. He does actually listens to her, and he uses a different weapon from that point on.
Togusa in the comic does develop over the chapters and stuff, which is cool to see.
Exactly. And in this one, I feel like the revolver in the actual anime movie is like a lot more a bit more symbolical in a way, rather than aspect of he chooses to use an anachronistic weapon, over in contrast to the world of super efficiency, of this of people choosing to combine with machines for the sake of efficiency, right? Because he's also like the least modified of all the people around him, right? I think he just has like some enhancement for his brain, like because I think he can still do like the radio talk.
They do the radio chat.
Radio, but like. He in general he is kind of flesh and blood, most, and he's kind of the most connected to reality because he's got like there is that implication of like he's got like a family and stuff, and it's like
it's got a wife and kid.
It's got wife and kid and stuff like that. And it's interesting, I guess, that the choosing to keep that revolver in that character chooses to continue using a revolver even though after having that conversation with Major, But yeah, it's beautiful movie, you know.
Yeah, I mean, it stands
no
the
wonder
test of time,
it's a
doesn't
classic.
it?
Yeah,
It stands the test of time. It is a masterpiece.
and it
And definitely Mamoroshi's magnum opus. I think even if for me, I think Pat Labor 2 is his best film, but you can't deny the breadth of Ghost in the Shell's following and artistry as well, you know.
I can't wait to make something in the future, and then someone goes like, "This just looks like Ghost in the Shell." Be like, "No,
it's not.
this is
No, it's
my,
not.
this is cyberpunk. This is cool. Like, this is just like, you know, what happens to the human brain." You know?
I
But
can't
it's like,
wait until somebody remakes the remake. Give
Yeah.
it another go, people. Come on. You can do it
know,
this time, I
go-
swear. This time, give it another go. 110 million budget did make its money 3 times over.
Well,
And yet they didn't make a sequel. Oddly enough, I guess the general reception to it critically was like enough for them to be like, yeah, it was fucking whatever.
yeah, let's not test it. You know, let's not try it. You know,
Yeah, especially
it's
seeing as it's like
it made its money, but like they were like, I don't think people will go see the sequel for this, you know, because
Yeah.
like I wonder how many of those sales is just the momentum of like the Ghost in the Shell, the idea of a movie, you know, because and now we know that it can be bad, it can be a bad movie.
yeah, this movie sucked ass. We actually watched it right before recording together.
Yeah, just to have it very a fresh turd, you know.
I hadn't seen it before. Max said he has seen it, but so long ago that he can't remember it.
Yeah,
Which is fair.
no wonder.
Yeah, this is not good. It's just it's just a bad version of a movie that you could watch that's much better. It's like fucking, it's like
And
45 minutes longer.
Yeah, this is longer than
It's not as good. It's more like a Hollywood action film focus. The story
Shallower.
is not. Yeah, it's a lot shallower. It doesn't have as much thematic depth. It feels like as the animated one, and I think a little pessimistically, but I think it does superficially try and pull from the manga more than the animated version did, just for the sake of it, just so that they could be like, look, it's there's more people in the squad, right? Everybody, and it's like, why are there more people in the squad?
Yeah.
Fucking the Major barely interacts with Bato in this film, let alone like her relationship to Bato is like questionable, let alone
It
all
just
these
kind
other
of
fucking
saunters behind her, you know, like it's like not much like because like I was talking to you about it's like it does seem like, you know, in the anime movie and in the manga, there's this implication of like they've been working together for quite a long time.
They have
or
chemistry. They have a relationship
They have a rapport
beyond the
for
comic.
each
Yeah,
other.
rapport. Yeah.
And in this one, like especially what is revealed later on in the movie, I was like, this doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
like,
there's this whole thing of like the Major is actually the most recent iteration of a test to make a super cop, basically. Right?
Yeah. Basically,
They've been kidnapping people, and kind of like in the comic where they have the brain rewriting, right?
Yeah.
They've been like trying to suppress their memories and just turn them into like the perfect super cop machine.
Yeah.
And that's what the puppeteer was. So the puppet master in the last film is like an immaculate conception kind of cyber consciousness that has come into being from a program that was meant to just like scan and scan games and manipulate the market or whatever, right? But eventually turned into something. In this one, it's just like a previous iteration of what the Major is.
Yeah.
And it does, but he's still got the whole thing of like, we can put our mind in the net, escape with me into the net.
Yeah, there's like, I guess, implication of like child soldiers because they were like younger people, you know, that were taken for this
They
experiment.
were taken as like, I guess, teens though, right? Not necessarily like youths, I guess, not like children, but like young adults more than anything.
Yeah. And it's like, yeah, exactly, or something like that. Yeah. So it's like it's weird. It's like and I was saying that like every kind of piece of media kind of focuses on a different thing, you know. In this in this one they chose to kind of focus on that idea of like memory editing, you know, like that's the issue here, right? Like that's what they took out from the source material, and they were that's
really
the interesting thing, you know, in a way.
But it doesn't explore it in as interesting a way as the comic or the animated film even do. It takes a different approach to the world.
Yeah.
In a way that's worse than the approaches that the other two versions went through. It does a worse job of it. So you really do watch it thinking like, why am I watching this?
Yeah,
it really is just like an inferior version, the most inferior version of this world and its narrative that you could possibly enjoy. But what more could you expect from Rupert Sanders, the director of our favorite movie from 2 years ago, The Crow?
Yeah,
the remake of The Crow with the fucking
I think you called it. They called it the most TikTok movie I think ever made, or something like that. When we're
feels like it.
Yeah. So it's like it's just baffling in terms of just like from what they try to take from the source material, or whatever you want to call it, or like the previous media, is that like they take it, but then like they incorporate it like not well, you know, like like the idea of like the memory editing, like it's like tragic, right? Because like this person that gets chosen to be to have his memory edited is like he gets left with those memories afterwards, and he has to live with the idea that this isn't real, this I guess kind of idealized life that he had in this these memories doesn't
not even
exist.
Ideal, like
it's like I know,
kind
but it's
of bad life. Like he was getting
kind
divorced and stuff, and losing his children.
But he had like a child that he had like something to live for, you know. There's an indication of like, you know, he wants his kids, you know, like there is something that like there is a lot more depth to him as a person too, with really having like these connections, you know. And then he gets that taken away from him, you know. And in this movie they do it like they're like, you think, because he like it's funny because the scene starts with them talking about like, oh, my daughter, she's got like a violin lesson, and then they go into like a
like Manchurian Candidate.
Yeah, they get triggered.
Sleeper agents.
And they just kill the people that they're like assigned to kill. It really is
it's the perfect example of the clear difference between the three versions, because the other two really do a great job of creating this intricate little plan that is interesting to follow and work out with the main characters of like, oh, there's somebody doing this remote hack, but they keep moving around and we don't know what the path they're on. We can't work out what their path is. And it turns out that it's this garbage man on a route with another garbage man, just doing these like remote calls with this card and then moving on to the next point. and is doing this under he is under the assumption that a guy in a bar is helping him track what his wife is up to, because his wife is divorcing him and going to take the children away. We later find out that was an implanted memory so that he would do that more more willingly, more freely, because he had the perfect route to be able to doing stuff like that with these stops next to public phone machines, phones. Yeah. And then it culminates in the Major they figure this out, and the Major ends up chasing the person who's putting them up to it, right? Who's believing these things for them to do so they can be a fall guy. And then you have the whole scene in the anime. In the comic, it's a chase through a market that they eventually catch the guy. In the anime, it evolves a bit further and is a chase into an alleyway, into this big sort of like pool of shallow water where there's a fight, a very tense fight using optic camo and stuff. But then in the live action movie, like you said, they're just like remote puppeted people. They just are having a conversation and then they go, act complete, time to kill, and then they ram a car and start shooting people.
They have like you said, you were like, they have like guns on them, like ready. Yeah,
they already have guns. Like, they already have the optic camo stuff. Yeah, and then the guy runs away, and they have this whole scene where they do the same thing of like, oh, that's my daughter. That's not your daughter. You got tricked into thinking you have a wife and a daughter and stuff, but you don't actually have those. They were just using you as a fall guy. You still have that, but the way it's portrayed in the film is like in the live action version is that they both just like get hacked and do it, and it makes you wonder like, well, why did they have the whole memory thing? It doesn't make any fucking sense.
Yeah, it doesn't make it.
It's useless. It's just there because superficially to be like, remember this incredible scene from the animated version where this guy has to reckon with, because it's good in the manga as well, but it doesn't have as much focus as it does in the anime. Yeah, and the anime does it really well, does a really good justice to the scene. But this live action version just has it to have it, right?
Yeah, it's an interesting plan, basically, right? Because it's like it's just an interesting way of having it happen, right? Having this issue, right? The idea of them doing like the remote hack on a garbage like collection route, you know, like all of these things are
they
just
implant a memory for him to be the perfect fall guy because he has a willing reason to do this.
Exactly.
That he's not being like coerced of like, oh, we have your wife and kids hostage, you have to do this. There's no area that could like create some friction that might make the plan go askew. He wants to do it because he believes it's something that he needs to do in order to help save his family. But like in a personal way, not in like, oh, my family's in danger, I need to say, in like a selfish, my wife is divorcing me, I need to find out what she's doing and try and stop her from divorcing me kind of way. So then you get the reveal, it works a lot better. But in the live action movie, it just doesn't make any sense. You could easily shave off like fucking 10 minutes of the movie by removing all that stuff and having the Major like hack into his brain again to try and find out about the fucking puppet master and stuff. But instead they have to have the whole scene where he's like, that's my daughter, I love my daughter, this isn't your daughter. What? No. And then he fucking kills himself in the cell somehow. He's been restrained, but the restraints are set up in such a perfect way that he can immediately kill himself. Yeah,
it's so funny because like I looked at this like I immediately went like, what's the point? Like, isn't the point of like restraints in like law enforcement is so you can't kill yourself, you know? Like
it seems like in this movie the police have designed the cell for maximum pacing. It seems like their first and foremost idea is that the prisoner should be able to pace around their cell anxiously in a clockwise or anti-clockwise circular motion that creates the most stress and anxiety. But if they want to snap their neck, all they have to do is like jump.
There is a built-in noose in the cell.
We've designed a noose into the cell. It's so revolutionary. It's
the horrible dystopian cyberpunk future. You know, you can explain that by saying that. You know, it's like you have the thing with like the like there's like so much imagery that just gets not just taken, like you said, from the original, for the sake of taking it, you know, like you have the thing
imagery that the movie creates, so the live action version creates itself, feels very superficial. Just like all the geisha stuff is like, it's just there to be like, look at the cool live action robots we have, isn't that cool? Look, the mask opens up and it goes, and it's like, why would the mask open up like that? I don't know.
I don't know.
But it's cool, isn't it? Look, it's moving around like a spider on the wall for like 2 minutes in the beginning. That's it.
There's a lot of, like, it's so much like in the plot, like very much is just completely different in a way, you know, like they like we were talking, like I was talking about, like I was like, so when are they gonna like combine, you know, because it's like a big deal, you know, like it's kind of like
you have you have these, and it's beautiful in both the manga and the animated version of when the Major combines her consciousness with the puppet master, right? It's really well done, and it's beautiful in both versions in different ways. In this one, they just don't do it. He's like, can we fuse now? And she's like, no. And he's like, okay. And then he gets shot in the head, and then he dies. And she's like, there's more I have to do. There's a sequel I need to make.
That never comes, you know. No. But
I mean, there's a possible sequel section on Wikipedia. Sanders also expressed interest in a sequel as well.
Could they make a sequel, please?
That shit ain't happening. Because everybody hated that the Major was a white lady in this one. That was the big controversy before the movie came out. People were like, you should have cast a Japanese woman to play as the Major, and they had to have all these arguments. Well, actually, the Major is just a moniker in the manga, so anybody could be the Major. It doesn't have to be specifically a Japanese lady.
Yeah.
But then they have the whole thing of like, there's this other girl that got kidnapped was also the Major at one point, and it was like, her name was Makoto Kusanagi, I guess, like the original, and
yeah. It's like some of the designs, like what is he called? Baku, right? What is he called? Batu.
You mean Batu?
Batu's
Yeah,
eye.
yeah.
Batu's
His eyes
are
look really
like
bad.
Like
that's
really
another thing. A lot of
bad
these
in
live
this
action
movie.
versions of anime, it's I feel like there's one maybe, but a lot of these live action adaptations can never break the feeling of just being like a cosplay movie.
Yeah.
Like everybody just looks like, and I know that it's like, well, of course they look like cosplay because they're trying to recreate animated designs in live action. It's like, yeah, but that's why you need to like adapt it in such a way that it looks more natural and doesn't just look like a person in a wig and
you just
with
don't
some shit
rip
on
the
their face,
thing. You don't rip the thing visual from the whatever media. You kind of put a spin on it your own to make it work in reality. Like I don't know. It's
movie
it's,
sucked.
it was definitely interesting to have watched all of this stuff and just kind of go through. We're so back, we're so good, and then just end it on a real stinker.
Well, if you want to watch more, there's the other Mamoru Oshii film, the sequel from 2004.
Yeah, maybe I'll watch it. Maybe
I remember I haven't
give it a
seen
go.
that. I watched that like fucking years ago. I only watched that the one time, and I remember it being quite good. It's not as good. It's like a non-canon sequel, so I don't think it fits into the official timeline or whatever. But it's like I remember it being quite a good, very Bato focused sequel.
Okay. Yeah.
I remember there being quite a cool scene at the end with Ghost in the Shell 2 Innocence. There's quite a cool, like, recurring time loop scene at the end that's really well done.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I remember, like, I might rewatch it, actually.
Yeah.
It's got that dog in it, too.
Got that dog in him.
It's got the dog in it.
Yeah, got
Anyway,
the
that's
dog
our
in him.
Ghost in the Shell.
Yeah. Well,
We did it.
Thankfully, we have AI in real life now, and,
Yep.
nothing
If you
bad
see
is
it
happening.
now, you can replace Scarlett Johansson with anybody you want.
With anything you want, and
Anybody at all.
actually, it was kind of, I feel like a little bit depressing for me at least, watching all this stuff, because I was like, you know what, if we get like actual like AI that's like somewhat close to human, we're so not ready for that shit, man. We're so cooked when that happens, I feel like we're not ready.
No, I feel like I don't know. I feel like the whole point of a lot of these films is kind of supposed to say that will we ever really be ready, right? I think it's kind of the same thing with parenthood in general, right? Like, is anybody ever really ready to be a parent? In the same way, are we ever really going to be ready to create consciousness? Are we ever really going to be ready to play God? And it's like, no, because we haven't done it. We don't know fucking what it's like. We don't know what kind of complications will happen.
Yeah, but like, I guess it's, we can have accidentally done it, in a way, and that's
like they do in the movie. It's an accident.
like they do in the
in the animated movie and the manga, not so much the live action one. In the live action one, they don't really create life. They just kind of
they take a little boy and they rip
know.
their brains out of his head, or something.
he
But
becomes
it's
like a super hacker.
he becomes Frankenstein.
Uses other people with him, I guess.
No, it doesn't matter.
Movie sucks, who cares?
Yeah, it's so
Goes in and
fucking
out.
dumb. But yeah, it's looking forward to having a biomechanical body. I can't wait.
You think so?
Yeah.
Because the thing is, this is something that I really like in Battle Angel Alita, is that this movie, the manga and stuff, really like, manga especially, really make it like seem accessible, right? Like you can get all sorts of cool cybernetics, and you don't even have to worry. Like, there's some stuff that's more expensive, but even the cheaper ones are like kind of good,
Yeah.
Battle Angel Alita is like, it sucks because it's like all a scam in that world. I really like, there's a little illustrative chapter that talks about why there are so many cyborgs and stuff in the like scrapyard in the scrap city that it takes place in. And it's because people will like get into an accident, they'll get attacked or they'll get hit by a car or something, and they'll be lying in the street dying, and chop doctors basically will come out and go like, we'll save you, and then attach like a bunch of fucking junk to you basically to keep you alive, and then go, all right, you now owe us the fucking $1 million.
Okay, nice.
It was an emergency. You had to, we were saving you. You have to pay the
Getting
bill.
dead. Yeah.
It's like, I really like that aspect because I think it goes into, because that's my main thing with like the biological enhancement stuff is like, it would be cool if we didn't live in a world in which most countries have medical procedures tied to capital, right?
Yeah, that's the thing, right?
In that case, I would be like, oh, that's cool. So yeah, people could very easily and voluntarily get like stuff that could save their lives. No, that would not be the case. It would be like for the rich, right? It would be for the rich to live longer, ultimately, for the rich and powerful to survive longer. Which I mean, is something that is explored a lot in a lot of Cyberpunk, not just Battle Angel Alita. But I really like that Battle Angel Alita shows that even if you can't afford it, it can be forced on you, and you will be forced to pay for it. You know, I like that detail.
Yeah,
it's good. It's good little world building.
But it's like even with like any other procedure, right? It's like, what's the thing? It's like, don't call, people have like a thing that says like, don't call an ambulance or whatever, you know?
Yeah,
like,
exactly. It's that kind of thing.
It's but you know, in this case, it's like, it's the same, honestly. I guess in countries that don't have socialized healthcare, you don't even get a shitty mechanical arm that's a junk, you know? You just get you know, I guess they somewhat stabilize you, and then you get $1 million, you know, bill afterwards. Yeah. But yeah, it's it definitely will be interesting. Man, like having looked at what's happening right now in terms of stuff, even the AI or whatever you want to call this stuff that we have now.
Yeah,
it made it a lot less sci-fi for me. I don't know why. Like, I know it's not the same, you know. But I'm like looking at what we're making.
Do you mean? Sorry,
like the LLMs, the large language model stuff, you know, we have, you know, and like in general, just like,
and it made what less sci-fi?
Like the idea of AI, you know,
right?
To me, you know,
it's
like
a lot less interesting conceptually to you.
Not really interesting, but just like it made it too real in a way, you know,
made it uncool.
I guess, I don't know. It's like I said, agree. We're just so not ready for this, you know. We're
in so many ways, ready. Both philosophically, but also logistically.
Yeah, logistically, you know, with the terms of labor, you know, where labor
this is the natural
go
conclusion of Silicon Valley focused society, right? Is that once we get to the point where we don't have too much to invent at the moment, we need to try and force ourselves ahead as far as possible.
Yeah,
because there's a lot of capital riding on it. A lot of money riding on this, buddy. Okay, it's gambling. It's gambling all the way down. But and we need this shit to pay off.
People will still make stuff, you know?
Yeah.
I don't think, like, the drive is never gone, right? We're kind of always driven forward.
I'm not saying we make stuff because of capital, but the idea of us accelerating beyond our means, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, with
thanks
robotics.
for listening to Ghost in the Shell talk from Dead Ensigns. I've been Ben. This has been Max. I'm Captain Ben. This is Major Max.
Yeah, I am Major.
And
I do have nipples on my chassis for my shell.
That's good.
Unlike the movie.
No, I think she did.
I don't think she did.
No, because you're thinking about how she looks at the beginning, right?
Yeah.
That's because that's supposed to be the fucking camo skin tight thing.
Oh, okay.
That covers her up, you know, and that's why later on she doesn't have that shit on, and it's like her actual skin on the boat scene, right?
I thought it was just.
It's like Bato skin is reminded of her as more than just like a comrade or something. It's like, oh wait a minute, that she's kind of fine.
She does have nipples, and
I gotta look away. I'm getting bashful. I'm invading her privacy a little bit.
Yeah, no, he should have used his eyes. He would have been whoa, and they would come out outside.
Yeah, like they telescope.
Yeah, they telescope. You know,
Oh my god!
I think that would.
I think I'm gonna short circuit.
I think that would make the movie better, the live action movie. You know.
Yeah, and the animated one.
That's true.
The manga kind of already has a decent amount of stuff like that.
Exactly. Yeah.
I think that's a big part because I always remember people being like, "Oh, the manga's just like, oh, it's got sex in it. It's kind of like porn, you know." But it's like I don't think so much that. I think it just explores the idea of the human body and sex within that world, right? Like it's a big part of the human experience, and if you're going to do a world in which the idea of the human body and what consciousness is has changed so much, a big part of that has to be depictions of sex, right?
Yeah, but the interesting thing about the manga is like I was kind of thrown off because I was like, the thing I read the same one as you did, I think. That's censored, so it doesn't have.
Yeah, it doesn't have a lot of stuff.
I did some research, let's say, outside of our looking at just that PDF, just to see what it was, and it is like it is quite graphic in terms of like that's pretty hardcore,
But it's interesting. It's interesting because it was. Yeah, sorry, you go.
I was because and the thing I was confused about because I didn't see anything that graphic while I was reading it, and I was like, oh shit, Ben said this thing, and I was like, nothing seems too graphic in this, and then I started reading the like author notes at the end, and I accidentally I was like reading it, and I was like, why is this thing talking about pornography? I don't think there was any pornography in this, and then I realized it was that page that got cut. That was he was talking about where it's like they are in like a pornography simulation that they're in, and I was like, oh, because then there's the Batu's like visceral reaction because he calls in at the same time, and it's like all these fluids and stuff, and he's like, oh, the smell and things like that, and I was like, it doesn't kind of make sense without that 1-2 extra pages that there's in there, because that's what he sees when he dials in, he makes contact. And it was just really funny because I got desperate different parts of the information with it, and realizing that it's the censored parts it was talking about, but yeah, it's whatever, I guess it is pretty graphic.
I think there's a lot of history with that stuff in the anime and manga industry in Japan. Yeah, there's a lot of movies that are like, it's weird because it's animated. Obviously, there's a lot more graphic like intercourse and stuff you can get away with in an animation, obviously, because you don't need to worry about like people actually logistically fucking or simulating fucking, right?
Yes.
And I think there's a lot of history with that in Japanese anime in particular, because obviously in the West, animation is a very niche adult sort of thing, right? In terms of production of animation for adults, but in Japan, obviously, the animation was a lot more heavily skewed adult and child. So when it came time for a lot of these more graphic productions, they did have a lot of sex in them. But then when they get brought over to the West, they then get labeled as pornographic media because of it, right? Even though it might have like a couple sex scenes in it, but for the most part, it's like an action. It's like a really gory action film or something, right? Yeah. It's like super violent and stuff. And it's interesting because it really echoes throughout. Perfect Blue, for example, the Satoshi Kon film, got hit with that stuff really heavily because it was on the tail end of the American sort of like, not necessarily propaganda, but the idea of like labeling a lot of the imported anime as like, oh, anime is notorious for being like graphic and sexual and bloody and violent and gory and everything. Like people going Akira and Kite and stuff like that are all like, these are examples of like hyper-sexual, hyper-violent Japanese media, And similarly, Perfect Blue got hit with that because there's an acted rape scene in it, as well as obviously some threat of sexual violence and the general stalker tension, horror moments, as well as the violence that is there, like at the end of the film. It really got hit hard with that moniker of like, oh, the hyper violence of Japan, hyper violence of Japanese animation. But a lot of these films, they were just like, I don't know, it wasn't necessarily like oh, we want to make a porno. It was just like, we want to make like an adult action film. It'll have like sex in it. It's going to have violence, you know, it's going to have all this stuff that we can get away with because it's animation, because it's easier to get away with all this stuff and pull this stuff off because it's a cartoon.
Yeah, it's
interesting.
I get culturally differently, you know, like what was it, the Hays Code? What is it called? Like in the Americas, you know, where you had like just like rules for how to portray certain things. You know? And, like if you don't, it's like just I guess that's how you.
Remember, there's an interest. I read an Astro Boy volume a long time when I was in like secondary school, a long time ago. I had a little mini comic by Tezuka talking about him trying to like pitch Astro Boy in America almost, you know, to like those executives. And he always found it interesting that in terms of their cartoons and stuff, they were very against the sort of like more adult themes that you could find in children's media in Japan, right? Or the more scary or violent things that you might find in children's media in Japan. And then he would talk about that, their reaction to that in comparison to the idea that you could turn on the news in America and see fucking footage from Vietnam, you know, like of all these fucking horrible atrocities that are going on all over the world. But that was just like regular all-day television, you know, despite that. So it's interesting these values,
I guess
how they're different and the way, you know, that America is a bit more, I don't know if evangelized is the right word, but it's like, it's got a strange, hypocritical view of a lot of violence in its media and stuff, you know.
I think the big
swearing, cursing, being censored at all times of night, even at the dead of night, you know, being censored on TV because it's like you can't say ass and fucking bitch and bastard and shit.
Yeah. I think it's the big aspect of that is purpose, right? Because it's like when you talk about, like, for example, like the Vietnam, you know, being shown on the TV and seeing violence and stuff like that, and like it's the same thing like G.I. Joes and stuff like that, like this kind of it's propagandized, right? Right. It's to kind of get used to just violence, you know. Like there is
desensitize you to the idea of fighting for your country in that way.
That's true, and also the idea that like there is something like just violence, you know, like because it's like when you righteous war, or you know, because like if you get people scared to the idea of like violence in general, like that a lot of media covers, you know, like the atrocities of war and stuff, it's like, well, fuck, you know, now these people don't want to fight, you know, like they won't want to, you know, it's like oopsie, you know. But like if you control that narrative of like how you actually show violence, it's you know.
Yeah, that's right. I do feel like we'll have that problem in the future, you know, because I don't think.
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see how it goes, but it's like that's the thing. It's
I certainly don't feel like fighting. I can tell you that much.
I don't know. We'll see what happens.
There's a long
Ghost
outro.
in the Shell. Yeah.
Go listen to us on Spotify and Amazon and to Apple and stuff. And you can email us deadensigns@gmail.com, or you can leave a comment on YouTube where we post it. All those places you can save and give us a rating in some way, like liking or subscribing. If you want to do any of that, it's much appreciated. We'll see you next time. Have a lovely week. Goodbye.
And if you're, if you also have Rogue AI listening to this, give us a like and save the
and we'd love
podcast
to hear
line.
from you.
Yeah, contact us. Tell us. Maybe you'll have something interesting to say to us.
Fuse with this audio file on the net and see what happens.
We'll see what happens.
Don't just listen to it. Fuse
with it. Yeah, creating a new entity of some sort. It's either neither a MP3 file or a AI, it's something else, you know.
The most annoying immaculate conception cyber consciousness you could ever make. All right, goodbye.
Bye.
It's shorted out, sir. We're gonna have to phaser it.
Then what are you waiting for?
Right away, sir.
Faster would be better, Ensign.
I can't, sir. We don't want to...
That's enough.
But, sir...
Stand aside, Carlton. I'm going through.
You're alive. Good.